Welcome back to the Elevation Association Experience Podcast. We're your hosts, Dr. Jared Hill, Dr. Dan Nelson, and from the shadows, from the background, is our partner, Ryan Passey. And Ryan, I have to share a story to get us going here about you. So on one of our CE events, we like to do something cool when we do our CE events. We don't do CE normally like most people. And so in this particular one, we were doing a hike up into one of these alpine lakes that we have. And the setup was like, all right, Ryan, which lake are we going to go hike to? He's like, well, I know this one lake it's like a nice walk to it. I say, okay. So we tell all the people, it's like, okay, we're going to do this nice little, it's like a walk, it's pretty chill. And about a quarter of the way into the hike, we had people like bent over, huffing and puffing and being like, frickin' Ryan, why is it? Oh, this is not a walk. This is brutal. So that is Brian, the strength of the bear over there. That's like, no, it's fine. It's easy. And by the end, it was the payoff, but it always made me laugh that now Ryan gets teased all the time by all of our EA people that are like, is Ryan in charge of this hike? What are we doing? Where are we going? So, Ryan making hard things look easy all the time. So welcome, Ryan. It's great to have you on the podcast again.
I thought maybe you could interview me about my top golf,
Well, top golf. We don't talk about top golf. You mean croquet? What was it that we were playing when we were at Top Golf? I think Jared and I were playing golf.
What? Leaderboard said something else.
Yeah. That was a rough weekend. We just so Jared and I are not emotional. We're not crying today. We are in full allergy mode. So despite the way it looks, we haven't just had a tear-filled session of watching old reruns of sad 80s shows. We are actually just dealing with the rabbit brush here in Idaho. But we were in Denver this last weekend for our Dental Legacy Foundation fundraiser. And we decided to take Father Justin, who is the hospital administrator, out of the hospital in Itigi, Tanzania, to Topgolf. Well, one of us was cheating and beat the other two. So you figure out which one of those croquet players was cheating, and then I'm sure you'll put the pieces together.
I don't know if that's right.
Ryan, did you ever get your official invitation from the LPGA, or is that still coming?
It's coming, I think. It's coming.
I know they're going to contact you. I wasn't sure if that was what had happened yet or not. Okay.
It was pretty impressive. I know.
Yeah, it was.
There was a crowd forming for sure, but I don't think it was for the reason that you think it was. Well, guys, this is a cool day. So we get to tap into some awesome experience between these two guys. I'm just here for a voice and to nod a lot. But Jared is coming in with 20 years experience of dental experience and years of helping our clients out to make their practices, their lives better. Ryan is coming with loads of, Ryan, how many years of data analysis, data analytics, just general purpose management and leadership? 35 plus, right?
35, yeah. Plus,
yeah. So this is going to be a cool thing because we're going to talk today about a tool that we use with EA called Skool, and we're going to defer a lot to these two guys about this. It's a very, very powerful, really cool community tool, and I'm excited to jump into this and why we've created it. So, Jared, why don't you talk a little bit about why before we get into the what? Let's get into the why. So, why do we have Skool?
I love this topic, and this is such an important part of who we are at Elevation Association, of why we exist. This is as the landscape of dentistry is changing, there's a lot of private equity money, a lot of DSOs, a lot of corporations that are coming in to provide a solution for dentistry. And that solution is for the problems that all dentists feel, that we all feel, that I have felt personally, and have looked for answers to. And that problem is isolation, which leads to frustrations in your businesses, which leads to burnout, which then leads you to sell out, right? You had to have this progression. And so as an independent dentist, we often look for solutions for this problem. This is a major issue because it feels like you're I use this analogy all the time. You feel like you're on an island. You feel like you're like Tom Hanks in the movie Castaway, where you have your local team of your office manager, your coordinator, your hiking manager assistants that there, but within that group, that's really all that you have. And so you have this isolation problem. And the problem is you start to second guess what you're doing. Am I doing this right? What are other people doing? Am I being as productive as I can be? And then you go to a conference, you hear somebody talk, and you think, that's not the way that I do things. Like, shoot, am I doing it wrong? Am I going to get in trouble? Is this, it really is difficult to know and to judge and to gauge how you're doing. And a lot of times you get stuck inside your own head when that happens. And so then you have all these frustrations that start to occur with your business, these business related frustrations. Should I be doing CERC? Should I be using, what kind of laser should I be getting? Should I be, you have all these questions. What about HR? What about accounting? What about these tax strategies? How come other people look like they're doing awesome and I feel like, and then I'm kind of dying inside? Like, what is my issue? Well, after you practice in a isolated and frustrated state for so long, you get to a point to where you're just like, I'm tired of this. Dan, you just had a conversation with a guy who was like, I am so burned out of this profession, right? Like, yes, there are times and maybe moments at this point in time where I still enjoy doing dentistry, but honestly, those times are fleeting, even just because the frustration of running the business is so overpowering and so overwhelming that you just get so burned out, even with what you do, that you look for any sort of reason to escape, right? And that's when these DSO, these big corporations come in, private equity throw money at you and say, look, I can make you a billionaire if you sell me your practice, right? And I will then we will provide the relief for you. We'll do all of the admin work. Oh, but we're not going to change anything, right? We don't want to change anything because you're doing a good job, dog. They're talking out of both sides of their mouth. And in actuality, what happens is the dentist gets screwed. 90% of the time, the dentist gets screwed, right? The amazing days of private equity money are gone, right? I mean, yes, you can still sell out. Yes, you can still get some money. But if you sit down, take the emotion out of it, do the math, it doesn't make any sense. So, but then the problem is, well, I'm still frustrated. I'm still burned out. And then you got to go down the road. Is there another way? Is there a way to not be isolated, right? Can I interact with my peers in a way that's non-confrontational, or a way that I can put down the barriers and I can actually find answers to my questions? Then is there a way that I can overcome these business related frustrations? Can I find answers to these questions? Can I get the help that I need without giving away or selling, the majority share of my practice, or even the minority share of my practice? Is there a way that I can keep all of it and keep all the profits and make the changes that I need, right? And is there a way that I can overcome this burnout? Is there a way that I can find a love or passion again for the things that I started off with? Because when we were all going through school, first couple of years out, we love doing the dentistry, treating the patients. That gets lost. Is there a way that I can recapture that? So that's just an introduction to where we are and what we're providing. And it's an introduction to our online community, which is really the first step to overcoming that isolation. And that community is called Skool, Skool. And I want to give a few minutes to Ryan here to talk about Skool, because Ryan really is the one that found Skool, found this online community, found the ways for us to connect, and created that platform that now is growing and building momentum and providing the resources that a dentist needs to overcome the thing without selling out to that private equity or that corporation. Right? Do you want to talk about Skool for a second?
Sure. Skool. We kind of found out about Skool a few months back, which was fantastic. It's kind of a new online platform. It's owned by Alex Formosi, who's a pretty well-known entrepreneur. And it's built for membership sites. So from the very beginning, we've tried to have a membership site for our members, or the thought was, be great to have a forum and a place where we can hold all our CE that we're doing and a place where dentists can interact with each other and provide them the systems and tools on one platform. And in the past, we kind of looked at doing a forum. We kind of looked at some different Facebook options, but nothing was really like capable of really hosting all of those things on one platform. And so when we came across Skool, it was like, oh, here's what we've been looking for, like a place where the members can get together, we can meet, we can have the forums built in, we can host our CE courses in there where there's a classroom where they can get in and you can take a course, do the evaluation, get credits for your CE. You can do it a la carte, like at your own pace kind of thing. And just was really cool that it had all these things that Dan, Jared, and I have been talking about, like, wouldn't it be great if we could do this? Wouldn't it be great if we could do that? And so Skool came together and really provided us a platform to plug and play all the things that we've been trying to put together over the past 5 years, so, and really put it in one place where, collaboration has been one of our core values from the beginning. And there's magic when you get dentists together, and like Jared was saying, when they're not, when they can be vulnerable and open and ask questions and stuff. And so we've always wanted to provide this kind of a platform where, hey, you can get on and, like, what's your pain points? And then, all of us are smarter than one of us. And that Skool really provides a great platform for just getting on, asking questions, and getting the answers, and having a community, where we're always talking about, like, join a community, not a corporation. Like there's some of these things built into this platform, and Elevation Associations has always been about, trying to help the private practice doctor provide them with tools and systems and resources so that they don't have to sell out, right? That they can keep their ownership in their practice and have the resources that they need to be successful and enjoy, I think, enjoy their business and life on a different level, right? So Skool is a great platform for that. Yeah.
So we have
Right,
we have our 3 peaks, Ryan. We've got that we think that everybody should be able to summit within their career, and that's life, leadership, and legacy, right? So how does the Skool platform service those 3 peaks?
So some of the cool things built around, those peaks within Skool is now that we have our CE library built out, we kind of focus on those 3 things within that community as well. Like all of our CE courses on how to have a more harmonious work-life relationship, or in our life peak, And again, that's, to go back to that focus, we really feel like dentists have these 3 peaks to climb, right? Life, which is like having a well-balanced life, leadership in their practice, giving them resources to be a good entrepreneur, helping them find tools and systems to be an excellent leader. And then, giving back, leaving a legacy, what lives on after you're done. When you put the drill down, what kind of a legacy have you built? And so we always focus on these 3 peaks. And part of that in Skool is also built around helping dentists to climb these 3 peaks. So again, we bring a lot of content on work-life harmony. We bring a ton of value towards, business systems and tools and visions and core values and tracking data and analytics. And then the legacy component, there's opportunity within EA to go provide humanitarian services or, focus on financial planning and retirement, those kind of things. There's systems in place there as well to provide a way of giving back or leaving a legacy beyond the practice. So.
yeah, the problems or the issues of isolation and frustration, business related frustrated issues, are really solved by our leadership peak. knowing and understanding and being able to provide the leadership principles that you need in order to overcome those frustrations of isolation and burnout. They're all found in Elevation Association. So Ryan referred to a lot of the things that you need in order to do that. And one of those is a community, right? So to combat the isolation, we have an online forum, meaning we have a running thread of questions and problems and solutions and answers from across the board. So this isn't I just want to be clear. This isn't hey, let me submit a question or a problem with Elevation Association, and Elevation Association is going to answer. This is, I'm going to submit a problem or an issue to the community, to Dr. So-and-so who's from Texas, to Dr. So-and-so from Wyoming, Dr. So-and-so from Arizona, and so forth. And the combined result or answers are what you're looking for. And they may be different. And that's the beauty of what we do. There is not a right answer always for you, right? There's for a laser, for example, we just, somebody in our practice broke a laser. I'm not pointing fingers to anybody. This is not necessarily anybody's problem per se. I was just trying to untangle the cord, okay? And anyway, it got broken. So we submitted, and there's several different answers for lasers. And that's the beauty of it, is there's not one person that says, this is one you need to get because I have a vested interest in this laser, right? It's like, hey, I use this. This works well for this. This works well for that. And this is a place where you can go to get, so you have this online community hub for something as simple as that. What kind of laser should I get? Or it could be something more complicated. I'm starting to practice from scratch. Dr. X from Arkansas, right? Starting to practice from scratch. What are your thoughts on this? Or Dr. X from Montana, hey, these are my business cards. These are actually true things that we've had just in the last couple of days. I'm just giving examples of some things. This is my business card. What do you guys think? Send pictures of your business cards so I can get some ideas on how to design that. That is all involved in that little thread of community. And that combats isolation. Now you don't have to necessarily hire somebody to do that for you, because you can go to that community, see what everybody else is doing, and we share, and that's part of the community is to contribute to that community as well. So that is a very cool aspect of Skool. So you log on to Skool, you have this ongoing thread, and somebody from maybe Florida will answer, maybe of 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 people answer, whatever it is. But that's one of the really cool features I like on Skool that I think have been very helpful for a lot of our members.
So let me ask you guys this: why use Skool? Why join Skool? Why get involved with that? Why not just jump onto I mean, there's a lot of, I won't say any of them, but there's a lot of Facebook groups out there that sound like they do something pretty freaking similar. So why not just join one of those 38 Facebook groups that are out there and do that instead?
Well, I think there's a lot of value within the community itself, right? And it's a group of like-minded dentists working towards the same things. And we've also been able to, as we focus on life, leadership, and legacy, one of the other components that we're starting to add in is some experts in different industries as well. Like we recently did a podcast with Kat and Jeremiah. And Kat and Jeremiah are now going to be, available in Skool to answer questions on health and wellness, as well as dental topics. You can get some additional resources in there from some experts on how to be healthy and how to live a better life. So I think there's just some added value in there as well.
Yeah, you can get online, and you can get on these other ones, these other Facebook groups, whatever. You're going to get a lot of different varieties of answers from random people as well. This is also a vetted group. First of all, this is a vetted group as far as we've had the people who come in, and we value and trust their answers, right? These are people who are good people, and we know them personally, and we want their input. There's people that just get online and they give input that you don't want input from them because you don't know anything about them. These are all vetted members. And this is just one aspect of Skool. The online forum is just one. And Ryan alluded to this. There's so many other cool parts to this online school. One is access to CE, right? Really valuable CE. The over 30 hours of CE, we're constantly adding to it. You take it on your own time. It has an outline, a description of what the CE course is. You take it on your own time, and then you submit a response afterwards to us, a little questionnaire, I don't know what you call it, right? And then it's submitted back to us, and we provide the CE for you. That's another incredibly valuable aspect of Skool as well.
So talk a little bit about, so I have to chime in here a little bit. And so I belong to a couple of those Facebook groups, and inevitably sometimes they get pretty toxic on there. There's a lot of toxic discussion or like mockery, like someone will pose a question and it can get pretty ugly pretty quick. And we all know that, I mean, that's something that in our society right now, that social media has not been healthy, in so many ways because of, open access to, I mean, I'm going to call them tools. Tools get on there, trolls get on there, and their whole thing is, I mean, I went to school with some of these guys that just like to get a rise out of people. That's what they like to do. They like to poke the bear and see what they can do. They're not really in there for anything other than their own entertainment. And that's unfortunate because it's super destructive and not constructive at all. And then, I actually got muted on one forum because I brought up a topic that, I'm very passionate about. It's something that's a bit controversial, and I'm trying to be a voice of reason with it. And I think that people need to be, especially doctors, need to be educated on this particular topic. And I got muted. And I'm still, I'm on the group, but I can't contribute anything. The guy that runs the Facebook page has got me muted. So, there's some things like that. And it's because it's not a vetted group. It's just a freaking free for all, whoever wants to come on. And there's no like, I don't know who that dude is that runs the Facebook page. I don't know what his views are. I don't even know if he's a dentist, and so you run into that kind of stuff. And then, there's not really some quality resources on any of these things, like you guys are saying. So Ryan, I want you to talk to a little bit about the other resources that are on Skool, I mean, because we got a lot of stuff on there. We have our CE library, of course. We have the community component, like you were talking about, Jared, that are both in and of themselves incredibly valuable. Those solve a couple problems right away, and it certainly addresses the isolation component. But what are the resources, Ryan? I mean, we got a host of other resources that you immediately gain access to. Can you talk to those a little bit?
So yeah, one of the resources you get immediately is there's a little tools and systems section in there that gives you access to a bunch of example of employee manuals. You've got different systems and things for hygienists, front office, back office, all those kind of things. It was funny last night. I saw there was an email from one of our docs that needed a perio rejection form, refusal form. And so it was easy just to direct him to the systems and tools to be able to download the document and be able to use it, change it and use it for his practice. So that was kind of cool. But there's all those kind of forms in there as well, resources you might need. And with that, every year we do a free growth report for every member of Skool. If you want a growth report at the end of the year, we'll do that, as well as like the zip code pricing for your individual zip code. As a member of Skool, you'll get access to that pricing for your practice every year. And that itself is well worth the admission to Skool. It's just the value in getting that every year is tremendous to make sure your pricing is correct. And so there's these, all these things within systems and tools. There's different things on resources for your practice that's available there. There's the CE. There's again access to industry experts, which is pretty cool. Outside of dentistry as well as inside. We had the business card discussion the other day, and we have a graphic designer that's part of Skool, and she was able to get on and, give a little feedback on how to choose good business cards and stuff like that. So I thought that brought a lot of value to that. And then we're having, live Q&As or coming on board to where, once a month, we're going to do Trail Talk with Dan, Jared, and Ryan, and be able to just do a question and answer session. So we'll start to do those once a month where we'll be able to go on live within the forum itself and just within the community, which is kind of cool. Keeps it isolated there, and we'll be able to, take questions, pain points that docs are dealing with, and be able to, again, address them within a Q&A forum once a month. We've got live webinars going on once a month within there as well. So continued CE and stuff, and Kat and Jeremiah are going to start doing lives once a month on health and nutrition. So you'll be able to submit your questions prior to the Q&A, and then be able to jump on the Q&A and be able to get your questions answered direct from the experts, which is kind of cool. So there's a calendar of events in there, so you don't miss any upcoming CE from us or anything like that, like upcoming summits, base camps that we're doing around the country, like opportunities to participate in that as well. And then if you're a member of Skool, you get discounts on CE. If you want to come to Dominique or Alaska, you're a member of Skool, you get 1% off your summits, which is also pretty cool. So, and that's all built in there. There's a chat. So if you want to start a side chat with a doc from, Florida, you can chat them directly within Skool, which is kind of nice. There's a leaderboard. You can see who's participating. Skool's kind of gamified participation a little bit, so it's kind of fun that way. You get to move up different levels as you participate and become a good member of your community. You kind of get recognition there as well. There's a map that shows where the members are all around the world, which is kind of cool as well. So, but just some cool built-in tools to that. Again, the calendar, the map, leaderboards, those kind of things, as well as the systems and tools and CE that's available, and the forum, which is pretty cool. So again, it's just a great resource, a one-stop shop for just about anything you'd want and need, and just to really be a part of the EA community and be able to get all the information, everything that's going on, get your questions answered. And again, we're trying to, the whole purpose of Elevation Association is from our association with each other, we elevate, right? So, so it's just a great place to improve your life, improve your practice, and again, leave a legacy after you're done. So.
One of the things that I like about Skool is, okay, so in the podcast with Kat and Jeremiah, Kat was talking about people recognizing that they need to make a change in their physical health. And she said that sometimes that people don't realize they're resistant to change. And I thought that was profound, in that we run into that all the time. People contact us and say, I need help in A, B, and C, multiple facets where they say, I need help. And so it's the same with physical health. They look in the mirror, they feel the way they feel, and they go, I know I need help. I need to make a change. So in the comparison is so simple, between your practice health and your physical health. And so we all feel it when our practice isn't healthy. But what's fascinating was she brought up that people don't know that they're being resistant to change. And so one of the things that she says is my job as a coach is to get them to realize they're being resistant to change. And I absolutely love that. And so we know people are resistant to change. It's in our nature to be resistant to change. We don't like change. And so one of the things that's so cool about using Skool, and yes, I did mean to rhyme, is that it's such a low barrier of entry for someone that is resistant to change, right? Like, I don't want, I know I need help, but I know I don't want to. Either my frail dental ego won't allow me to go out and actually admit that I need help, or maybe I fall into this trap of just burnout, which I think is the most common thing. Is it's just this horrible burnout cycle we get into. And so we've created something that I think is a really easy way to start to address, Jared, those things that you were talking about, right? The concept of burnout and isolation. Right away, you immediately get some people that you can commiserate with, you can collaborate with, and there are some lessons that have been learned, like we've talked about the hot wash from the Air Force, these pilots that go and after they go through they do a sortie or a mission, they'll go and do a mission. From World War I, they've always gone and done a hot wash session. It's where they talk about what was hard, what went well, what didn't, and then they commiserate because those things can suck, right? And they found that there's a psychological component and to those things that really help to keep those pilots mentally healthy. And so we feel like we've created something similar where if someone's coming out of something that sucked and difficult, or they're having a challenge, and heaven knows that most of the challenges we have are employees, you now have a forum to go on to and talk about this stuff, maybe just to vent even, or just to find someone that understands the challenges and difficulties of it. And so, we don't want people to get rid of their practices. We want to see healthy, private practices exist out there. But we realize that with that ownership, being an owner doc, you have to have a community, a supportive network that is in the same position you're in to be able to manage and function at a high level. You can't do it by yourself. You will burn out. You absolutely will. You only have so much bandwidth. And so this is a great starting point. And that's one of the things I really love about it. And I have to give, Ryan props for finding this and being able to allow us to create something that is so valuable for anybody that is looking for help with isolation, help with CE, looking for help in those three peaks that we talk about in life, leadership, and legacy. So, but for me, what's cool about it is it's such a low barrier of entry. It's an easy kind of got to put your toe in the water kind of thing, and it's very, very simple, and you can get involved right away. So I think it's just a really, really nice way to start to elicit change in your life and in your practice, even if you're resistant to it.
Yeah, to go along with that, Dan, dentistry is better. You've got a tribe that understands what you're facing, right? So
Yeah.
that's why Dan and I and Ryan, we all practice at Wood River Dental Care. Dan and I are the dentists. Ryan is our business manager at Wood River Dental Care, meaning that he is in the day-to-day just as much as we are. Meaning he helps us run the morning meetings, the morning huddle. He deals with the treatment coordinator, the office staff. Like this isn't somebody who stands on the sideline and coaches you and tells you what to do. This is we are three people who are full-time practicing dentists and managers in a clinic. And then we also do this to help other people. And I think that is one of the big distinguishers between maybe us and obviously the DSOs who are going to come in and buy your practice. We're obviously not going to buy any part of your practice. We don't want anything to do with that. We're different from them. But these people who come in and offer salvation to some of these problems, right? We're going to be your solution, isolation. These people aren't in the office. They aren't in the day-to-day. When your EagleSoft goes down, they don't care. They don't really understand what that means. They don't feel the panic of what that means. When you're overbooked, you're triple scheduled, you got emergency coming in. Dan and Ryan and I, we feel that on a daily basis. Like those are feelings that you cannot create or you can't even talk about. You can't understand unless you're actually in it. Like unless you're halfway in the mud, you don't understand it. And so I think that's another reason why we created this online community is when somebody says, "Hey, I need help with this aspect," the bonus system. There's a good chance that we just had this conversation with our staff or our employees, or we just
For
had an
sure.
employee come up and say, "Hey, this is an issue that we're having." Like we get it, we understand, and we're in that same vein as you are, right? And I think that is a huge advantage to joining Elevation Association. Is this is a corporation, this is a community. I'm sorry, this is a community for dentists, built by dentists who are currently practicing dentistry. Right? This isn't an outside corporation coming in and saying, "Okay, here's what I think you should do. Here are the solutions. This is the business principles." That's great. But what is Mike Tyson's famous saying? Dan, you say it all the time.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face.
And in dentistry, we get punched in the face every day, right? And unless you're getting punched in the face, you can't understand what that means. And I think I think that is a huge part of the value of Elevation Association is, you know what, we get punched in the face just as much as you guys do every single day. And at the end of the day, really, this is what it's all about. You don't sell out your practice, right? Think about this instead, build it. Build your practice into a legacy that you're proud of at the end of the tenure, whatever that is. And do that with people. Figure out how to do it. At the end of the day, let's talk about money. That's what everyone talks about. That's going to be more profitable at the end of the day. It doesn't seem like it because they throw money and numbers at you, but it's going to be more profitable. But not only is it going to be more profitable, it's going to be more fulfilling. It's going to be more satisfying. And if you can hop on that journey with people who want to go on that journey with you, aka members of Elevation Association Tribe, that is where you're going to find the joy, the satisfaction, the fulfillment that is so void when you sell your practice out money to a corporation. That sounds great at the beginning, but then 5 years of suckiness. I was going to say it's going to be crappy for what? For some money at the end of the day. So that was my rant. I didn't even plan that rant. It just came out.
It brought me to tears, Jared. This isn't allergies. It brought me to tears. I'm really moved by that. It was fantastic. So Ryan, any other thoughts on Skool? And obviously this is a podcast. We're promoting Skool, but we really do think that there needs to be an understanding of what it is. This is it promotional? Yeah, it's a little shameless promotion of our Skool platform, but more than anything, we really do want to help. And I think that that's important that people understand is that we're coming at this understanding what it's like to be in the trenches, like Jared was saying, being in the mud, and we just want to help. We want to have a community full of other docs who want to help. And that's the cool thing is that at some point, maybe you're the one that needs the help, and at some point, maybe you're the one delivering the help. But it really is our passion is helping other dentists. And so, and Ryan is, even though he cheats at Topgolf, he really does want to help dentists, succeed. Maybe not at Topgolf, but at other things, And so, Ryan, any other thoughts about that?
Yeah, I just think, schools, you guys have hit on some great things, the value that's there for private practice dentists. And then, it's such a low barrier of entry, like Dan said, the cost to participate is almost negligible, and the value that's in there immediately is great. And it's a way of for us to be able to help a broader range of dentists. It's a good opportunity to get your, like Dan said, put your toe in the water, check things out, see if it's a good fit for you, see if EA is a good, tribe for you to be a part of. And then, from there, there's the community aspect. And then if you want to look at, if you need more help with your practice, you need more individualized coaching, those kind of things are available at a discounted rate for those who get into Skool and want some more one-on-one help. But it's good to see if we're a good fit, if we're a good fit for your practice, if you're a good fit for Elevation Association. And again, there's just a ton of value in there. The CE credits alone, the zip code pricing, all those things that we've kind of made available for docs. There's a ton of just built-in value just to get in and become a part of the community. And it's been great. It's been fun. It's like I said, it's been something we've been trying to work towards the last 5 years, is creating this community. And it's fun to see the conversations that are going on. It's fun to see the humor, and people are very, funny in the interactions between the docs and the friendships that are building and those kind of things. It's fun to sit back and just kind of watch those things happen as well. And we know this doc from Florida, and we know this doc from Wyoming, and then being able to get those two docs like on the same page and get interacting with each other. It's fantastic. We've always recognized that the magic happens when you get docs in a room together or on a trail together, outside of the office a little bit, and let them talk with each other. Magic happens, and so you see this kind of magic every day on the school forum, those kind of things going on. So it's been great. So love to see the interaction. Love to see docs online taking CE courses and learning more, asking questions, getting resources, and again, knowing that they don't have to sell out their practice, but they've got resources that are available to them. It's just one keyboard away, right? So that's all
So
I
if
need.
it's what, speaking of that, how do I go, if I want to go sign up for Skool, how do I do it?
So you can go to elevationassociation.com and click the little login up at the upper right and get in there, or you can go to let me make sure I get the address right, skool.com/elevation-association. So you can go there from there. So, but if in doubt, go to elevationassociation.com. There's a little login up in the upper right hand corner and take you right to the Skool platform from there. So.
Awesome. Okay. So, to steal a phrase from Jared, join a community, not a corporation, right? Like that's the whole concept. And, come put a toe in the water, see what it's like to have the support, see what it's like to have the community, see what it's like to have access to some real, fundamental CE, education. And I just said continuing education. That's like an ATM machine, right? But yeah, come check it out. Any other thoughts, Jared, before we sign off?
No, this is a great resource. I hope you just take a chance to look at it, and give us feedback. It's constantly growing, just so you know. It's like a living website. We're constantly adding value to it. And if you have something that you think other members could value from, let us know. We're happy to evaluate it and see if it's something that would be great for everybody.
All right. Well, right on, fellas. Let's, we hope to see you guys at Skool, or check out our calendar. Hopefully we can meet up at one of our CE events. We've got some really rad stuff coming up. Check out our calendar, and come join us for some cool stuff. So, until then, we'll see you next time, and thanks for listening.